Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin in TAC, and we're here today with another Action Taimanin video. So for today, we do have something a little bit different. Professor JC reached out to me last night, and he's been compiling pretty much just like a collection of issues with AT. Now, I know we had this hype update yesterday, but like I can't in good faith sit here and just be like, oh yeah, the update's great, buy this, buy that. Like, yeah, there's stuff worth getting as always, but like real talk, this game kind of sucks. So I want to talk about what's wrong with it instead of constantly like doing free advertising for the devs that don't give two craps about us. So that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, this is a long read, but Tak and I are gonna kind of go over it and discuss what he said. The reason for sharing this is because he wants anyone who has any sort of issues to pretty much comment the video or reach out to him or however you want to do it, but I guess comments would be the easiest. And just give your issues with the game if they're not listed here. Because we need to like compile a list and start being more public about it. Because no one really complains about this game. Like 99% of the community on their Facebook just laps up whatever they do. The only thing that anyone ever complained about was like the Kirara mustache and the fact that, what was it, Sue and who else? Was it Morisaki? That they came out for more than the usual gems.
Yeah, basically.
But outside of that, everything they do pretty much gets lapped up, so let's get into this. So he starts by saying, I want to congratulate you for your hard work and effort you put into this game. It really shows how much dedication and love you have for it. I'm assuming that's to the dev team. Players like myself can really see this when comparing how much this game has changed since its release on global a little more than a year ago. The custom section where we can see current and previous outfits for all characters, the results screen, skin function, and the secret daily quests are just a few of these marvelous quality of life improvements. I'm really grateful for all of this, but I can't help but feel worried about the longevity of the game for various reasons. In this mail, I want to explain which are my concerns about the game and my point of view on how these can be dealt with properly to improve the game environment and player retention and overall game experience. Alright. Character package problem. Alright, character packages are a way for the player to get whatever character they want. And the only way to get new characters when they release. And the only way to get new characters before they release, sorry. But these packs seem unappealing for most people as their value is not good enough. On the standard pack, we received a specific character, a unique UR weapon, which you can't be obtained in any other way, the school uniform outfit, and 200 gems, as well as an experience boost. The jump up pack gives 300 more gems, 1000 accelerators, and a bigger experience boost. There are several problems with these packs. First, the weapon's effect is inconvenient, as the damage increased and damage reduction apply for a limited amount of time when particles are fully charged. The second problem with this weapon is that there's no way to increase the S level other than using Demonite. The third problem is that the skin offered is the pack is not only permanent, but also one of the cheapest permanent skins available. The last problem with this pack is not every player wants all the stuff in the pack. Some would only prefer to unlock the character itself. So before we talk about it, I'm going to read his proposals, because every complaint he has a proposal to fix it. So this isn't just bitching, this is problems with potential solutions, this whole list. So his proposal for fixing character packages. To solve the first problem, buff the weapons in the packs to make them more appealing. If they activate their effect each time you generate 3 particles, it would activate frequently enough to be considered a good effect. Another possible solution is to provide an extra passive where you get more particles after using your ultimate. That would be cool. To solve the second problem, provide extra copies of the weapons so that increasing S level doesn't require Demonite. Another possible solution is to provide a set of unlockable missions where you can get the missing copies if you buy any of the packs that include the weapon. To solve the third problem, change the school uniform skin for a ticket, which includes previous limited skins and our Golden Pass skins. The tickets should constantly update, and you can use this feature as a reward for other kind of event or even in the Golden Pass. And it says the third, but I guess he meant the fourth. So to solve the fourth problem, add one more pack which only has a character and no other benefit. Another suggestion to increase the appeal of packs is to include enough crystals to awaken a character to 77 on the standard pack and up to level 81 on the jump up pack. That would actually be really good. I did something. It won't let me undo. Oh, whatever. I have the file. Okay. So, I mean, he pretty much covered all the things I'd change about the character packs. Anything you want to add, Tack, before we move on? Because this is a lot.
This- yeah, like I think, yeah, because the big problem I have with the pack, generally the pack I have a problem with anytime I buy them is just that the weapon it comes with is shit. So like it's literally shit. Like the only weapon that I basically get for her whenever I grind her is the PvP weapon, because that's like the best weapon. It's better than the weapon the weapon they give you is a UR, but it's so shit though because that he pointed out the problem is that you can't upgrade it unless you want to buy the rocks to upgrade it. But that's just it. Like the weapon itself is just a skin. That's it though.
It really
That's
is,
all it
dude.
is.
Like, it's sad that like, for one, these are $50 packs. The price overall can just fucking drop for all I care. Like, you're paying enough for a AAA game to get a character. Like, $50 is too much. Sorry. So they need to figure that the fuck out. But as far as the weapon itself, the weapon they're trying to sell you is literally worse than the PvP weapons. Like, you go buy 5 PvP weapons, and you just have a better weapon overall. Just because the stats are
Yeah.
better. And the passive on the weapon here is basically useless, so why is it in a pack? It's trying to take your money. And he's right. Why are the teacher skins in there? They're pretty much worthless. Like, everything in there is pretty much worthless. The experience boost means nothing because you can buy a character pack for less money and get an experience boost.
Yeah, you really could. But the ticket, I understand. Like he said, like yeah, if you buy, if it's like okay, if you can get past golden pass slash limited outfits that you could get before, I understand that. Like okay, that's really cool. The only thing there's a counterpoint to this is like why not like here's a good example like when happened with Kirara, since she did win, you get to choose any, they gave you a ticket with her, they already give you the mileage skin for free because she won, but there was another ticket they gave out to players that any of her basically available skins you could select. You didn't have to choose the towel or the school outfit. You could choose either the bunny or the sleeping over outfit. I could see them doing that with the outfit because I don't think they will do that personally. I'm just thinking realistically, but
yeah, they'll never do that. They'll like the proposal he put here where they can add a ticket that lets you choose limited skins, golden pass skins that would be updated. I know they'll never do that. But they should, because you're spending 50 fucking bucks.
Yeah, they honestly should, but I think the realistic thing that's gonna happen is like, oh, they'll change it to a ticket that you get to select whatever outfit for that character you're buying specifically. That which is always available and not limited, basically.
Yeah, but the always available ones, they're not worth the money that the pack is at. I think that's the overall issue. Is nothing in there is worth $50.
Yeah, it's just a character. Yeah.
Surprise campaign problem. Surprise campaigns are superb. With them, players receive special items, the AP gets reduced, drop rates are increased, and the chance to get more experience for weapons and supporters increases as well. But I've noticed that not all players are able to take advantage of these campaigns. There is also the newly added 10x10 run campaign, which doesn't really benefit the players that much as it only saves time for players. They do not give more resources or increase the efficiencies of said resources. Which he's right. Another issue with surprise campaigns, he did like say it here, but he kind of summarized it, is he basically said not everyone gets to participate. And what he means by that, and I want to go into this, because sometimes these campaigns will pop up for like 2 hours at like 5 in the morning to 7 in the morning on like a weekday. Like, who the hell can do that?
Yeah, I remember remember there was a big issue that Waystorm said that so what ended up happening is that there was like a time and period that they were giving away two more of those for the UR recyclable exchange facility tokens basically you could use for the exchange facility. And the problem is it was only for I believe 7 hours, and you surprisingly got it, but anyone else who wasn't awake at the time basically they missed out basically.
Yeah, I remember that because I just happened to log in and got it on accident, and I was like, there was a campaign. It's
Yeah, so
but
honestly, if anything, like the surprise campaigns are nice, but there's just so much like it's very infrequent because it's just like for example that surprise campaign is worth logging in, but then there are other some weird campaigns that like oh they just give you tea basically, which is like no one's gonna want to log in basically to do that. They're not really like it's like they're sometimes good, they're sometimes just whatever basically.
and that's another thing. I think like we'll read what he says first before I suggest anything. But okay, to fix the campaigns. A simple way to guarantee that most players will benefit with the surprise campaign is to increase its durations. The best way to do this would be to increase the duration up to 24 hours, which yeah, that's one of the things I would say. If you're
Yeah,
gonna do one, just have it up for the fucking day.
yeah.
But if you consider that's too much, 12 hours should be enough. And that I agree too. It's still half the day. Someone would be able to get up and get on at some point. On the other hand, the times 10's rum should not be implemented as a special campaign, but as a standard option in the game. And this, I think a lot of people have said this. I don't even play AT anymore because of the time 10's rum. That's the only time I play. If the
Yeah.
times 10's not up, I don't bother playing this game unless I need to do an event or do story mode.
Secret
Because
quest.
the game and secret quests, yeah, because those don't get any multiplier. But outside of those three things, AT is really unrewarding to play without times 10 runs. There's no reason to play it otherwise. You're just wasting your time. And they seem to be up every weekend, so there's no reason to really play during the week now, unless they stop putting them up. But I agree, they need to be standard. And it says farming is important in gacha games, but players get bored when that's the only thing to do. If you implement this change, you will also have to implement some kind of challenging content that can be played as many times as the player wants. Another suggestion is to increase the frequency of half-off AP surprise campaigns for events and dailies. I've personally been saving my AP potions to spend them on a half-off AP campaign for dailies, but when it finally happened, I was asleep and ended up missing it.
Yeah.
That's rough. He said everything I would say, so I'm gonna move to the Golden Pass.
Yeah, let's just go move to the next one.
Golden Pass problems. The Golden Pass is an excellent way for players willing to invest money in the game to get resources. Last Golden Pass proved to be a great purchase, as it had Demonite and Nano Machines, but now these items are nowhere to be found. Another problem with the Golden Pass is that some materials we receive on the paid row aren't really useful. Magatama gacha tickets, material kits, and gold serve no purpose as the materials they provide can be easily farmed. The last issue with the Golden Pass is the lack of repeats for old skins. There have been few instances where players can claim Gold Pass skins out of the Golden Pass, and there has not been a single Golden Pass with a rerun of these skins. He's right.
The only time I remember that they were doing it was the first three because I remember when the first game started they repeated the first three because they wanted at
Yeah, because
least
JP had them, so they just put them out for us.
yeah for the New Year. For people that don't know, it's the New Year's Asagi, Sakura, and Yuki skin. Like we literally the first three Golden Passes they repeated those three. Other than that, they never repeated any others than those.
All right, I'm gonna read his proposal. So he says add Demonite and Nano Machine as a staple in each Golden Pass. This is a must. They should have never put it in there because now people feel like it should be in there. They should have never, because honestly, I was never even thinking about Demonite and Nano Machines going in there because I was buying the bundle. But now that they put them both in the paid row, they need to always be in the paid row. Because now the pass the value's nothing. Like I haven't brought this pass yet because there's no Demonite. Like that literally made me not buy it. I do want Rico's poofy hat, but not that bad. This would increase the overall value of the Golden Pass and incentivize players to buy it. Besides this won't break the balance of the game as there's a huge amount of supporters and weapons in the game. Getting one copy of these materials per month won't give a huge advantage to a handful of players. For materials, substituting the previously mentioned items with exchange facility items, crystals, and our awakening materials for weapons and our supporters would be a huge improvement. These items are not as easy to get, so it would incentivize players to buy the Golden Pass. And this is true, they could put awakening mats
Yeah.
in the Golden Pass bottom row, because it's fucking paid anyway.
Yeah, so they could, and getting the
Yeah,
crystals through is yeah, I could definitely see them
yeah.
doing that. Yeah, that's a good one.
For the last problem, adding a special ticket with old Golden Pass skins and our limited skins in the Golden Pass or some kind of event would alleviate the player's desire to get these skins. It's important to provide this option, as not all players are able to buy the Golden Pass each month. Additionally, you could also increase the amount of rewards given in the Golden Pass as well as the amount of missions. Yeah, I agree with everything there. If you don't have
Yeah,
anything, we'll move on.
I think the only thing I would say is like let the players get the option to choose like like if it's just only golden pass, I would say only golden you could either choose, for example, a good example is this one right here. It's like you either want to, do you want the Renko idol outfit or do you want an old previous golden pass outfit? Maybe people wanted to get the swimsuit Asuka outfit and they want that instead of this Renko one. Let them, and then they could just like
Pick the
people who didn't
wrinkle
get the
later.
yeah, and then the next golden pass, they just throw the idle Renko skin in the pull for the ticket. Basically, it's just that simple.
It really is, and that way people would buy it because they would want to get stuff they miss. New players who come into the game, like say someone started yesterday, and I don't know, they saw me use Emily a couple weeks ago, and they're like, oh wow, that Emily video, he has a mummy skin. Where can I get that? And then he could go in the Golden Pass, buy it, and then just pick the skin. But
Yeah,
instead,
it's
he
pretty
just
simple.
can't get it at all.
Yeah,
It's not available. This game's butt butter. Anyway, moving on. Rank passes. And yeah, these need to be talked about. They fucking suck. Okay, so okay, he just says rank pass proposal, so I think he's tacking the rank pass on with the golden pass, which is fine. Uh, Adding the rank pass was a good idea. It has good items that players may want, and it's very cheap. Right now, we don't know if this will reset after a certain amount of time. If possible, I would suggest resetting the rank pass every 6 months or every year. The nano machine and the rank passes are very good, and adding Demonite in the pass would also be a good idea. Alright. And then we have Demonite and nano machine problems. Demonite and nano machines are without a doubt the best materials in the game, but their availability is very limited. With the amount of standard and limited supporters and weapons we receive each month, it is important to increase how many of these materials are given to players, both in free and paid content. And but I'm gonna read his proposal before I say anything, because he might say what I want to say. Demon and nano machines. Wow, Demon and Demonite and nano machine proposal. Up until now, we have only ever received Demonite and nano machines every 6 months. That means we receive 2 of each item per year. Increasing the amount up to 4 would allow players to max out at least 1 weapon and supporter per year. As mentioned previously, adding this material to every Golden Pass would be a good idea, as it would incentivize players to purchase the pass. There's also the limited time packages. You can make those standard packages everyone could buy at any time and add a cheaper version of them on the limited time tab. This would allow players who want to invest in the game to buy as many materials as they want, and limited time sales would increase if the price is reduced. Yeah, he's 100%
yeah,
right about all about this.
yeah. That's basically yeah. That was a suggestion I was gonna say too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he did say what I was going to say, but I want to go a little further into it. I don't think even the 6 months is enough. I think that Demonites and Nano Machines, I think every free-to-play should have a way to get 1 Demonite and 1 Nano Machine per month. If that even means that they add some sort of content or just decide to stop being, I don't know, garbage bags about it and reset the damn tower. Because all they have to do is just make it so you have to run through tower, like, I don't know, 1 through 75 every month, right? But for doing that, at the end you get a Demonite and a Nano Machine. And then it just resets and you can get 1 next month. Because this is what Magikami does for their free-to-play community. They have a tower, with 50 floors. You beat the tower, you get a ticket. The ticket's a guaranteed UR from the standard pool. And then if you beat it on hard mode, you get a second ticket. So if that game's willing to give you 2 URs a month, 100% free to play, I don't see why this game can't give you a material to bring up your S level by 1. Like, that's all we're asking. I don't think 1 a month, again, 1 a month won't power. What is it going to do? There's so many freaking supporters and weapons in the game. Like, it'll just allow people to get some progress. Because what's happening to free-to-plays is they get, like, something. Like, a free-to-play will go pull Asuka, for example, and then because they're not getting Demonites and Nanomachines, that Asuka's just S1 indefinitely. When she should have some sort of slow progression. Like, I think it's fair for a free-to-play to be able to match, like, max 2 supporters a year if they're playing the game every month religiously. Like, you should be rewarded for your time in the game. Not just for giving the game money. So, yeah, Demonites and Nanomachines need another fucking look, and there should be a way for free-to-plays to get them monthly. Limited skins and supporters. Shiranui, Sakura, Renko, Yukikaze. Okay. The implementation of a new kind of limited skins has proven to be a good way to increase the game's income. Oh, he's talking about the seasonal limited skins.
Seasonal limited package we're talking,
But not all of these have been successful, mostly due to lack of any synergy with each character, or because their effects aren't considered good enough for most content. There's also the fact that these set supporters and weapons go up to S level 4 if you buy the pack. Right now, players are forced to use Demonite and Nanomachines if they want to max out these sets, which in turn reduces their value. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, that's another problem.
Alright, so proposals. These sets aren't meant to be like their original limited packs. They don't have to synergize with the skills perfectly. But giving them generic effects which work on most situations would incentivize purchase. Shiranui's set is a prime example of this. Everyone considers her support very good as it can be used with all characters and its effect is helpful on most stages. For the last copy of the weapon supporter, it's necessary to add them on the free-to-play event art campaign. It's not being able to max out these sets after purchasing the pack is demoralizing. Agreed. You should be able to get 4 free and then only have to pay for 1. Because that is right.
I don't know why
you spend $50 fucking dollars and it's not even S5?
Yeah, that is true.
It's retarded. Okay. So, here are the limited sets like what Kirara just got in Asuka. So, character-specific limited sets. Most of the character limited sets are very good, providing not only a supporter and a weapon that synergizes with them, but also a buff which fixes the character's performance in-game. Other than buffing some characters' limited sets like Usagi's and Sakura's, the only issue I see is the lack of the limited supporter in their packs. Getting only the weapon forces the players to roll on a limited banner, and if they don't get lucky, they may end up getting more copies of the weapon, which they may already have if they brought the pack. And then proposals. Add the supporter to each character's pack, and send a copy of the supporter to those who previously purchased says packs, as it would generate conflict if you did it. And yeah, I don't know why they don't just put the supporter in the pack.
That's the thing that really bugs me, because when they did these new seasonal packs, those were like, yes, like honestly, if you changed, like if the price of the limited packs were the same as the seasonal ones, I would pay for that, because you get the supporter. That way you get, at least you get the copy, because let's be real here, no one wants the SR weapon, because that's just another skin basically.
Dude, yeah, no one cares about that. I don't know why that's even in the pack. And the other issue with limited skins in general is that alright, so they're always incentivizing you to pull, because when the skin comes around the first time, when it's brand new, like we just said, you can't buy the supporter from the pack, you only get the weapons and the skin. So, and I think like a little bit of gems. So you have to pull the gacha for the supporter. And the second time when the packs rerun, like if they do repeat, usually they just bring back the pack with the weapon and the skin, but no supporter at all. And if they do bring the supporter back, they don't even put it in the damn Desire shop. And I think with how much of an investment Desire is, because it's like 100 pulls on top of 1,000 gems, they should at least put the supporter, like if they're going to repeat a limited set, at least let someone be able to get it from the Desire shop the second time it comes around. And my final suggestion is, if you're going to repeat a limited skin, please put the supporter banner up, or just put the supporters in damn packs. Because it, like, seeing Sakura and Asagi repeat constantly with no banner is just a joke at this point.
Yeah,
Like, those
they're
supporters aren't
becoming.
even good. Like, the only thing you're doing is gaining attack speed through the formation system. Because you won't repeat the supporters, but you'll repeat their weapons no one needs at this point.
See, like at this point, like yeah, I do agree with that because literally the Asagi and the Sakura supporters are literally like a meme within the community now. It's not a good meme either. Keep that in mind because
Yeah.
it's just like, it's just like, and I've been seeing like when here's a good example. Sakura's got to get her Shadow Chain outfit again, like the next update, which is next week. She's gonna get her outfit again. But they didn't. But people are asking, what about her supporter? Where is it? Like people are asking for this. And here's the thing, though. It's like honestly, they're like Gremory is just kicking themselves in the like. They're literally just shooting themselves in the foot because there's like free money left on the table. It's like
And
why
that's
do
the
it,
thing.
though?
You think they would just take advantage of this because it is just free money. Like, they would just only stand to profit. But for whatever
Yeah.
reason, they don't. But to me, if you're gonna like repeat a limited set, you have to repeat it proper. You can't just bring pieces of it back. Like, people wait so long for these sets to repeat that when they come back, it needs to be done right. Because
Like
it's so, like we literally
Rengo's-
wait. What was it? Sakura and Asagi were last May, and they just
Yeah.
repeated like a couple months back. So we waited from last May to now, hoping to see the supporters again, and they didn't come back both times. That's crazy. What I think they're gonna do is I think they're gonna repeat Sakura's support with her remodel, and I think they're gonna do Asagi's with hers. But we'll see. That's just
I
me
mean, if they-
predicting. That's not any sort of leak, so no one take that as credible. But
if that's the case, then yeah, then do it then do it like that. But
they
honestly,
really
though,
need to repeat them right every time.
yeah, and honestly, it's just like I would say. I think another problem too with limited supporters, with the limited gears too, is that they're like you don't know which one's gonna come back. Like Renko has been on hiatus for the longest time, and now she's just recently at the end of the month she's gonna come back. So
Yeah, and there's no
Yeah,
transparency for anything in this game. Like, not even limited sets. But Tap's right. Like, we don't know when anything is coming back until like 2 days before it's here when they announce it for us. That's not good. That's terrible. Like, it's a shame we have to like rely on leaks to like
yeah, because like
plan ahead in this game because the devs just don't tell
Yeah.
us anything. Like, I know they work on this stuff for months, so just tell us, like, yeah, Renko's limited skin is gonna be back in like a month or two. Like, that way people can at least save. I don't know.
this is roadmap is important because if people see a roadmap is saying, oh look, like oh look, Murasaki and Nui's outfit or Emily's coming back at the end of the middle of the month. At least people see that and they can just like literally just put like a dot in that mark and they're like, okay, I don't have to spend anything. I just want their outfit or their set and they're done. That's it though. That's all they have to do. That's pretty much all they have to do. I understand newer sets because they want to keep the hype for that. That I don't mind that much, but with old sets, you kind of have to put like at least tell us ahead of time.
Yeah, because people play gotcha games. Like, if anyone from Gremory is seeing this, and if you guys really don't know how gotcha communities work, is people plan ahead in these games. Like, there are people playing Fate, saving for something coming out in like 2 years. Like, these people plan, and they like want to make sure that they're doing the best that they can possibly do with every little bit of currency. And you don't give us a lot of currency, so at least let us plan. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna move on. Affinity effects. The affinity effects are one of the best additions in the game. They allow us to increase character experience, drop rates, and the maximum cap of AP. But the problem lies in that we can only have 3 effects active. Whenever players want to farm efficiently, they have to change between their AP increasing affinity and their drop rate affinity, which is a pain in the ass. And it also ruins the game because you can't put your favorite girl on the home screen because if she doesn't have the drop rate effect, you'll never see her. Like, literally.
Like, the problem is, yeah,
Like, if you're playing optimally and you want drop rate up while you play, you're gonna never see your other girls. Like, the AP girls only go up on the screen when you give yourself pods. so you can get the most AP from them. And then you immediately put them away, and the experience girls are unnecessary because you get
Really
so
hard.
many like experience boosts and leveling isn't hard anyway. So those are more complaints I have about Affinity. And Affinity Effects Proposal. If you decide that the maximum amount of affinity effect that you can equip for each kind of effect is 3, that's fine. But please allow players to equip up to 9 affinity effects, which doesn't necessarily mean that we want 9 characters on the base. By equipping 3 of each effect, we wouldn't need to constantly change the affinity effects to fit whatever kind of farming we are doing. Another solution would be to simply apply the affinity effects of all characters who have unlocked them. That would be cool. And
Honestly, that's smart too, because at that point it's like, oh, it's fine if they put a cap of 3. Yeah, that's fine. Like,
yeah,
but once you get once you get that cap, that's it. You don't have to switch the girls, put them in like in the lobby, and plus that also kind of like gives players like, oh, like for example, for me, I want Asagi in my when I first log in, but I can't really have her because she's not really a drop or AP, so she almost is like never in the menu for me mostly.
yeah, it really sucks. It kills me with Shizuru too, because Shizuru's AP and like I love Shizuru, but I just she's never on the home screen. Okay. Fiber and nanometal problems. Fiber and nanometal are meant to be rare materials which can be used to craft special outfits for each character. With the number of characters increasing, it's important to provide more ways for players to get these materials. Fiber and nanometal proposal. Add new modes where we can farm these materials, as well as permanent packs which include these items. Additionally, it would be nice to have other uses for these materials, because if we increase their availability, players will inevitably reach a point where they have all the craftable skins available in the game. To prevent this from happening, you can create more materials like the exchange facility materials, which are crafted with these. These are a weird subject because like everyone knows that the crafted skin grind is garbage. And they
I have
keep
to think,
throwing
yeah,
stuff
it's like
into the damn friend boxes too. Because like now we have affinity chests in there, and like there's like more stuff being added to those friend chests, which makes it harder for us to actually get these materials now.
I think the biggest problem with them, I would say, here's my biggest it's not that that is one of the problems. They add more unnecessary stuff like the Doki Doki boxes. That like I get why they added it there, but if you can easily farm them with gold gacha, there's no really like just getting them and seeing them pop out is like a shop basically. I think the only time I've seen them that are purchasable is because what they did with Yuki Kaze and Sakura, and most likely Asagi when they get their reborn pack. But other than that, I if they're not gonna do like a mode, honestly honestly increase the amount of friends we have, because we're getting to the point now that like we're about to hit 20 playable characters pretty soon. So it's just like you kind of increase it to 200 and then slowly like increase it, like open it like that's the problem. I think you have to open the friend list. I would like it to like you break the cap, like add an additional 100, and then like, oh, next year we add another 100. That way you at least have more people
yeah,
consistently playing,
it'll make
giving
you
you the
get
friend
more
points.
resources too. Yeah,
Yeah, and then basically you would start getting like friend boxes like left and right, like it's like almost free. But at 100 friends, it's like the cap, you kind of have to break it now. We're at the point that 100 is like not really like even 100 active players on your friend list, it's still slow,
yeah.
ridiculously slow.
And there's achievements tied to it too. Like you got to get 500,000 friend points, and I think even Ultra like barely has like 200k, maybe just over.
I think
And
that's
the
the
game's
last
like
one he
almost 2
needs.
years old. Yeah, that's the only achievement he's missing, and it's gonna take him like another maybe couple years of AT to get it. That's crazy. So they need to really look at it. I agree with the idea of having packs available because Ultra is a whale, and as someone who's also welled on the game, I do admit that I would like to have the option of buying fiber and nanometal. I personally didn't buy them when they were available in the Yuki pack because I like the idea of them being like special where you get them slowly over time. But I also agree that monetization's fine because it's just a skin and it's not even a really good one. It's just a skin. It takes forever to get, and that's all. The other thing they could do is instead of having those shitty materials drop in secret quests like that aren't actually the things that the good pieces, like the colored pieces. Like one of them looks like a stupid ribbon, and the other one looks like a bottle with purple pee in it. Like they should take those materials out of the drop table because they suck ass, and we have a million of them anyway. Because whenever you enchant or break anything for enchanting, you get them, and you get too many of them. Those should be removed, and they should put the fiber and nanometal in the secret quests with the enchantment mats, and they should just be a drop in there. That way we can
Yeah,
get a little bit of them. That way we're not getting so many that we'll have like a fuck ton, but we're getting a little bit of them with our enchantment mats. And it literally
yeah,
saves them from having to make a new game mode, and the fiber and nano metal problem would be solved. Because everyone
yeah.
would get a little bit every day.
Yeah, and then that gives some people that want their crafted outfits for the waifus. Like some people may not have done the secret quest, but
Yeah.
maybe that gets people motivated doing it if it has it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah,
idea.
you're right. Because people honestly aren't doing secret quests because they don't want to run it and then change their supporters and run it with the next character. Some people do it with like their best characters and just log off.
Yeah,
Very few
that's
people do
basically
it
it.
with everyone. But if there were nanometals in there, more people might use the mode. Okay, here's a big one. Free to play gym income. The amount of gyms free to play players get is very low, considering the pacing of the game. As a heavy pack player, I barely get enough gyms to go to pity on some limited banners. I'm not saying that we need to get enough gyms to hit pity on every banner, but getting enough gyms to hit pity once a month or so would increase player retention. Special mode is an easy and consistent way to get gyms, but 12 gyms a day isn't going to make much of a difference. And considering that most people don't even play that special mode 4 times a day, they're bound to have less than that. Achievement milestones are a great way for new players to get gyms, but the more you progress, the fewer gyms you get from this. Proposal. Increase the amount of frequency of campaigns. Campaigns are one of the best way to give players materials, including gyms. Campaigns with missions incentivize players in playing the game and reward them for doing so. Increase the amount of gyms given on special. Yeah, that needs to be a thing. Add repeatable content where you can farm gyms. Adding challenging content that can be done once per week and gives a good amount of gyms would satisfy players. It doesn't have to be farmable with all characters. Similar to Tower, it could be done with a team of 3 characters and the reward could set weekly. And add weekly and monthly achievement milestones or missions which provide a decent amount of gyms for players. These different from the standard weekly missions focused on only providing gyms. I agree with everything there. I don't need to say anything else.
Basically.
We just need more gym generators and we need more challenging content that gives a higher tariff of gyms. Because the problem is they
Mhm.
just don't give a lot of gyms for anything we do.
It
If
really
yeah.
isn't.
Um. All right. Heavy pack problems. The heavy pack has been a subject of criticism since its release. One of its main problems is the extra skills it provides, as it gives a huge advantage to those who buy it. On the proposal. Simply release the 4th skill slot so that all players can use them and increase the amount of gems in this pack so that players who have been buying the heavy pack don't feel like they're receiving less. I agree. The slot has been pay locked for over a year now. They should just release it to everyone. Because
Think of it
I'm
like
not even
this:
buying heavy
heavy,
for the slot. I just want the gems and the mileage, honestly.
because here's the thing. The funny thing is that heavy, in my eyes, as someone who's never bought it, the value for heavy has diminished so much for it because of one, the gems that it has. It's like, yeah, the value you're getting for the gems is good, but the problem is level up packs do that. But the thing is, you pay for that, you get the gems right away. Secondly, the drop rate. The drop rate is more, but the thing is, you gave free-to-play players a way of getting drop rate by Infinity with the girls. So girls that have a drop rate, there's your drop rate. That's your free-to-play drop rate right there, bang, done. And then the same thing as what goes with the increase AP. The same thing happened with the Infinity. You got girls who have AP, increase your AP. I was like, oh, there you go. When you're done playing the game, you equip those girls there, and then you log out, bang, you get an additional more AP. So it just, I think with Infinity and with the level up packs are in existence, the heavy has diminished in value so much. I get that why players getting it because they want the gems, because it's just like, oh yeah, That's the only reason now. But yeah, the value for heavy has diminished so much over time now that I don't really see a sentence for me even getting it myself. Not even for the 4th skill slot.
Yeah, you're honestly right. Like, because I'm considering not putting anything on AT anymore. This is a personal decision I'm making. Because while I like the game isn't really doing anything for me, except me giving them money to do nothing with all the epic loot I have. So, personally, I may not put money on it, but if I were to, like, slow down on AT heavy, while it is useful, would probably be the first thing to go, because you're right, it is really outdated. Like, the only reason I buy it is because it's, like, an extra few thousand gems a month, and the gem income is abysmal. If it didn't give the gems, it wouldn't get bought. Like, nothing else in there is really worth it to me. I don't care about the AP. We have so many pots, it doesn't matter. The leveling packs, like you said, pretty much kill any value it had. And the skill slot's just scummy, and I rarely use that, so. Oh well, moving on. Mission campaign problems. The mission campaigns are a good way for players to get materials. These usually appear whenever the second limited set of a character gets released, but there has been constant problems with these. The missions can only be completed each day. It is fine to have them unlocked daily, but if for whatever reason someone is not able to connect one day, then they will not be able to claim the grand prize of this campaign. Oh wow, that's terrible. I didn't know that. I didn't know it like did that if it locked you if you miss a day.
Yeah, it did that. That's what happened with a lot of people had with Halloween Soccer with her supporter with her campaign, basically. That's what ended up happening.
Wow. I thought if you missed a day, and so say you missed Wednesday and you got on Thursday, I thought you could just do the missions for Wednesday and Thursday, like on Thursday. Like I thought they would just be unlocked.
No, they lock you out, basically.
Wow, okay. To solve this problem, simply enable missions to be cleared through the campaign's duration. That's how I thought it worked. The missions may be locked so that players don't finish them in one go, but allow them to do them whenever they have time while the campaign is active. Well, this shouldn't even be a problem. This is stupidity on their part. This is something the devs should have, you should never, what's the word? Was it, soft locking the player? Like, you shouldn't put the player in a situation where they can't do something ever in any game. That's weird. They're like, here, take this quest. Oh, you missed a day of real life. Sorry, you can't do this quest anymore. In a video game. Terrible. That's terrible. Alright. Dispatch problems. Dispatch is a good way to constantly gain materials, but most of the materials available from dispatch are not really appealing. Another issue with this facility is that it prevents players from using supporters that are assigned to it. Dispatch proposal. Remove all materials obtainable through dailies from dispatch. If there was ever a patch note that said that, I would be like, Gremory, you did something right. Because yeah, the daily materials just don't need to be in dispatch at all.
Yeah.
The amount and quality of the materials is not good enough considering how much we have to wait to claim them. AP refill materials, phantasmal dye, exchange facility materials, and gems are the best drop anyone can get from this facility. Don't forget the coins too, because aren't the gacha coins in there? They're just really fucking rare.
It's they're ooh, yeah, the gacha coins, and then they added the dye too. And then the Doki Doki boxes. Yeah, it just gets added.
That's what I hate about the freaking friend boxes and dispatches. They just throw whatever the fuck in there without thinking.
Yeah, it's just they just had too much crap, honestly. I honestly just keep the rare materials there, honestly, and just get rid of the materials to the crappy materials you could just do dailies for. There's a reason it's there for.
And then he says, adding awakening materials, affinity materials, custom crafting materials, and our chips would be far more useful than any of the materials obtainable through dailies. And they could do that. They could add awakening crystals in there and just make them really rare. Like, I still haven't gotten a fucking gacha coin, and they've been in there for months.
I haven't either.
If an awakening crystal was in there and it was just really rare, at least free-to-plays have a chance to earn an awakening crystal outside of waiting, for an event to show up. And that would make people... That right there would get you your 500 dispatch gems, Gremory. Because I guarantee free-to-plays, if they knew they could get awakening crystals from that facility, they would pay you the 500 gems. because they want the chance of getting that crystal. I guarantee people would do that. Because the moment anyone got an awakening crystal, they would consider the 500 gems paid for. I would. The crystal's way too valuable. Anyway, moving on. Private room problems. Private room is a facility that most players don't use, as it requires gems to get the most of its contents. Even if the player has already paid to get characters or skin, they have to spend more gems to unlock them in this facility, which prevents players from actually using it. And that's actually why I don't use it, because I have so many characters where I collected all their skins, and then I go in here and I have nothing. It's just stupid to me. It just seems like the private room is there just to snag more of my money, and I don't want to give it any money. So, private room proposal. Make the private room content unlockable in a free-to-play way. After acquiring a character or skin in game, players should also get it in the private room. Possess could also be obtained by completing different missions through logging bonuses, or they could be available for free. Once more, players who previously purchased the private room content should get a refund to prevent any kind of conflict. If you decide to make this facility free-to-play friendly, you can make contests where players share what they have done with this facility. This would be a good way to increase interaction with the community, and it would also help advertising the game. Also, guess what game does this? DOA does this. DOA Gacha game, they pretty much have like a private room screenshot set up, but it's free to play within the game. It doesn't really take your money from you to use it. So,
Yeah.
and they hold contests. Like, they'll be like, oh, this contest will be like, you make the cutest screenshot, or make the coolest, or make the sexiest. So it lets you use every kind of girl. Like, for the cutest, you could pick a loli, you know? And then for sexy, you could pick thick as oatmeal. But point being is, yeah, gacha games do already do what he said here. So it's weird that that it's not being done here. And it would be fun to be able to use our private rooms, because, like, the people who draw the Taimanin are really good artists. Like, I know I can't draw a Taimanin. I suck at drawing. But it would be cool to, like, have a private room to, like, kind of show them off in an artistic way, you know, as best I can. But since it's a money generator for Gremory, I don't use it. Yeah, that's that. Equipment and supporter sets proposal. Enabling an option which can save up to 10 different combinations of Magatamas and supporters would reduce the amount of time players have to spend to prepare for any kind of stage. Another possible solution is to allow more than one character to equip the same supporters. But if you decide to implement this solution, it's important to restrict access to stages where you can play with more than one character. Like Tower, if you have 2 or more characters with the same copy of the supporter equipped. And this is a big one, because with secret quests being added, which I'm sure he'll probably go into here, but I'm just going to say it, we have to change our gear constantly. Like, before it wasn't an issue, but literally sitting here having to change my gear 19 times a day to play secret quests once with each girl is just literally dragging my rectum against fucking glass. It feels terrible, and all it does is waste my time. I have very little time, and I don't want to waste it gearing characters because they couldn't be bothered to make a loadout.
Yeah, this is basically the thing you wanted. You want a loadout. Before we didn't really it's like whatever. Now with this, you kind of, we need the loadout now. We actually do need it now. So I hope that they listen to just give us the loadout for this, because we do need the loadout now for this.
Alright. Secret daily missions. Secret quests were an excellent addition to the game. Players have been asking for a way to obtain awakening materials for a long time, and this stage provides a solution to this problem. Unfortunately, the way they were implemented was not ideal. The stages were meant to work as a solution for the lack of challenging content and the lack of ways to farm awakening material, but players have been asking for repeatable, challenging content which they can play whenever they want. Secret daily missions required a player to have a lot of characters to farm efficiently, which is inherently problematic for newer players. Being able to run the stage once per character is fine for now, but having to run the stage with each character makes farming tedious. And I already went into how much of a pain in the ass that is, so I'm not going to add to that. Secret daily mission proposals. In the future, make sure that challenging content can be tackled as many times as the players want, even if they receive the rewards only once. Don't make farmable content extremely challenging, as there is a considerable amount of players who will not be able to clear this kind of content, but will most likely need to farm the materials. And that's why the Taimanin floor of the secret quest throws me for a loop, because the secret quests are meant to be something that a weaker player would farm to power up their roster. Like me, I don't need secret quests. I don't need them at all. And I'm a player that can easily kill Taimanin, even in tower, if I was really like trying to clear the content. So with that being said, don't put Taimanin in the content that the little guy needs to farm. Because all you're doing is pissing him off and making him not want to farm the content, and then that leads to him not progressing, which will eventually lead to him leaving the game, because he's not getting stronger. So, I don't know what the Taimanin floor is, but, I mean, the other stages are fine. I just really don't appreciate that Taimanin floor. Because I know players that aren't as strong as me are probably having issues with it. Because those Taimanins are BS. Last, try adding the option to farm these stages in groups. That doesn't mean that players will go into the mission with a team, but that they will spend AP according to the amount of units they use, and that they will receive rewards accordingly. This would make farming secret daily missions more fun, as players would clear the stage with their favorite characters. To balance this mechanic, it would be acceptable to have a level requirement of 70 or 75, so that underlevel characters don't take advantage of it. That's fine too. You go live tack? You're super quiet.
No, I'm here.
There's a few more, and it will be done. That's a lot, guys, but like, this guy's been compiling this list, and this shit is all stuff that just needs to be said, like in a public way. Gremory will probably ignore it, but you know, if they don't ignore it, then some of this stuff may get fixed. But I assume they're gonna ignore it. Content ID me, and then like send that raccoon to like nibble on my knees while I sleep, so I get rabies and die. Either way, supporters kits. After the arrival of Momochinagi, we received more and more supporters with double effects, which have a specific requirement to activate their effects. Now with the arrival of Lina, it's clear that upcoming supporters will focus on specialized damage. This isn't a problem in itself, the problem lies in how you do this. Supporters should have easy to fulfill requirements. If you release a supporter which benefits machine type characters, only 2 characters will be able to take advantage of its effect. Another issue with the specialized supporters is that because of the way type colors work, only some characters will be able to take full advantage of these supporters, as not all of their skills perform equally. A prime example of this is Ingrid with her Evil Bloom, which leaves her locked in place, as opposed to Astaroth, which has an excellent all-red skill. Supporters Kits Proposal. Release more supports with generic skills that are easy to activate. Increase critical damage, and invincibility, quick HP recovery, activation while near the enemy, activation while away from the enemy, etc. It is possible to solve this problem in a different way. If you want to continue providing specialized supporters, then it would be helpful to add some kind of mechanic or supporter which gives extra traits to a character. Change or add type and or colors. This mechanic could be added in waves of free-to-play supporters similar to Morishima I. Being able to change colors would be a requirement if you decide to go the supporter route. Supports with multiple colors problem. Right now we have 3 supporters in the game which can change colors. Merci, Amamiya Shisui, and Morishima I. Implementing the color change system to all supporters would break the balance of the game, as players would not have the need to roll for new supporters. But the system itself isn't working properly right now, as 2 out of the 3 supporters are considered staples that go on many builds, and changing the color is very expensive. I think this is supposed to say proposal, not problem. To allow players to use the supporters on any build, make them count as all colors at all times. But if you consider this would break the balance with skills, then just make the color frame change free. And I agree, because those supporters are like a shit ton to change.
Yeah, they do.
And that's it. Like, outside of that, he just has like a few bullet points at the end. I think these are all proposals. Monthly and weekly packs, sales, limited banner reruns, BP, like other uses for BP besides just like time attack and arena.
Yeah,
Support.
that
Huh? Go on.
no, yeah, I agree. Like BP's only been used for either time attack or fucking whatchamacallit, uh arena basically. Like that's the only time we use them basically.
And then supporters for HP recovery on attacks. And then skills, and every character should have an HP recovery skill, which works with every color. And I think what he means by skills here is maybe just like overall skill balance in game. Um, and I agree, everyone should have some form of sustain or some way to like survive, because having these Taimanins on like 75 be able to just like hit you for like 4 or 5 to 6,000 and like blow your character up, unless you're super giga mega chad whaled, is just kind of stupid. It's almost like they made the content without player computer interaction in mind. So anyway, that's the list. Like, I'm happy that like he made this, because Tack and we've been talking about making a video like about, is AT worth it to play right now, but we kind of I've held off on it, and I think I told you this, Tack, but like, we've held up on making a video on that because we don't want to make a is AT worth it video, because it's really not worth it. It would just be a negative shit show. So I wanted to talk about all the problems in the game without really being super negative and like cursing and having a parrot rant, but I think this was a constructive way to do it, because Professor JC went out of his way to like list every problem that he felt needed to be addressed and give solutions to them. So yeah, it's a real constructive way, and I'm happy he shared this list with me. And I guess to summarize, if there's anything anyone wants to add, please comment. As far as me, like he said, like probably everything I'd want to say, and then some. But if I think of anything, I'll let him know. And if you guys think of anything, please comment. And I think that's it. You have anything to add, Tack, before we stop? I know this has been long.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's been a long discussion.
Yeah.
I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. It basically in the video, basically like all the suggestions I probably said, because I could probably think of probably one or two more things, but I don't know. I'll probably leave it in the comments section if it comes up in my.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like after reading this, like this is so extensive. Like this is more than enough for Gremory to like, if they care enough, they could like just work on this and roll out these changes. And
yeah,
then like I probably would have like so few complaints, the game would be perfect. Like it's like, yeah, whatever. But
yeah, because I honestly I do think Gremory does care, because obviously you saw what they're doing. Like they're giving new models to old characters. They don't even have to. They literally didn't even need to even bother touching them at all. Like they didn't even need to bother giving Yuki, Sakura, and then Asagi new models. They could just leave their old models like that. Like
yeah, that's true, because they did already sell people those characters, so like they're not getting anything for doing it. They're just fixing it.
Yeah, it's just more like they do care, but it's just this is more feedback. We have to like, if they take some of this feedback that like you don't have to do all of this. This is not going to be like it's going to be like a flip of a switch. This is going to take time basically.
Oh yeah, for sure. If Gremory do it at all.
Yeah, if Gremory does, like honestly, I would say if I had to choose a few of them in here, I would say get the hard contact. You guys need to bring some hard contact for at least for us to do, because that's the thing though, because we do need reasons to log in and playing besides dailies or secret quests at this point. So yeah, I would say there's probably more stuff that people are gonna suggest that probably I would never would think of, but yeah, I think that's pretty much I could think of.
All right, so we'll call it. Thank you, Professor JC. Like, always a pleasure hosting anything you provide, especially when you make like lists like this, because he's sent us stuff before like this, and I'm happy he made a point to do this. So much appreciated. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you, Tack, for hanging out with me and discussing it. I know it was a long one, but needed to be said. So thank you everyone for watching. Hit the bell because the algorithm is doo-doo, and I want to make sure you get notified of the videos. Like and subscribe. And with that, you boys and girls, have a great rest of your day. And I will catch you all tomorrow with another video. Toodles!